Out of the ashes of the teardrop explodes, Julian Cope has risen to become a pop star, but not of the ordinary persuasion. He's weird, to put it mildly.
I think I've been excused by the last 2 years of music. Is my excuse. I just think that there've been good one-offs and things. Everybody, I just think that feel like Weller should have had a year off. He should have had a year off to go away and to see exactly what's happening. Because I moved to Tamworth 2 years ago, which is the last 6 months of the Teardrops.
That's where we were born, wasn't it?
Mm.
So
I moved back there.
You get these sporadic bursts of lyrical diarrhea or something like that, and then for 2 years, and then nothing for a year or so. Is that how it affects you?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like, I've got like a second album written, right? But I mean, that's not because I'm prolific. Because in actual fact, I should have, as you know. I think it's that routine thing that however much you start a group, it just becomes a routine. Even if it's a weird routine, it's still a routine, and I just don't like that. Like, there are periods of 6 months when I want to watch TV.
If I can butt in, have you tried, I mean, with being absent, but let me first say that out of the crucial three, I always thought that you were going to be the megastar. Have you tried with your absence to keep your artistic freedom as Teardrop Explodes were becoming too big? So you thought a little obscurity won't do me any harm, so I could really come out with what I like without being obliged to the company, to the fans, to the people you work with and so on.
Yeah, completely, because the thing that I found was something I'd never even conceived, was the fact that I had to guarantee people like Gary, the drummer, or you know, other members of the group, I had to guarantee them a wage. And I can't really guarantee me a wage, you know? I mean, like, so, you know, I only want to be beholden to me. And you can't be honest, you know, like I found that I couldn't have the Teardrop Explodes and have what I wanted. Because the mere fact that it's a group means that you've got to have a democracy. Even if it's only a token democracy, you have these little stupid things, like you have the guitarist, so the guitarist has to play a certain amount. So things would be tightened up, neatened up. So I'd come in with a guitar line that I'd written, and they'd say, great, teach it to Troy. So Troy plays it differently, you know, and like, I liked it. I mean, like, I wouldn't have liked the Velvet Underground as much if Lou Reed had a guitar line, and he'd had to play it to a really good guitarist, you know, or Sterling Morrison would come up with something that was phenomenal, you know, but it would have got tightened up. So on this album, I could say, I've written this guitar line, I'm playing this guitar line. When it was physically impossible for me to play it, Steve would play it because he's a real good guitarist. But it would be mainly something that I'd written, and if it's a melodic line, it would be something that I've written.
So you're becoming a victim of your own music?
Yeah, really. But yeah, I suppose so. Because you with a group, you can always hide behind. Well,
yeah, that's what I said. You are more vulnerable now, aren't you?
I'm
coming out as Julian Cope.
I think
you haven't got a niche of Teardrop Explode. You were still a frontman, but you could, you know, be hidden behind.
And say, well, yeah, you didn't like that bit. Well, that's not the way I wanted it. You know, this is the way that I want it. If you don't like something on this, that's me being bad. You know, and I'm quite. That's what I've always wanted to do something where it was me being bad. And I've no doubt that there will be big patches of me being bad. I would hope that there are, because I'm always trying for something that is very important. And I just know that everybody that I love, they do have patches of being bad, but at least it's trying to be good all the time. It's trying to be very good. I'd hate to just kind of exist in that kind of like quagmire of averageness. You know,
Did you find that you were kidding yourself as well?
What, you mean in the Teardrops? No, I don't think I was kidding myself, because I was questioning it too much. You know, it's like this thing where you decide something. You decide that you're going to do something that's kind of transient as pop music, and you're going to decide that you're going to elevate it, you know, as being something really, really special. it's like it's gotta have that. It's gotta have that elevation. It's like at the moment people have decided that okay, pop music. We're back to the transients. We're back to bubblegum and everything. Okay, so people aren't allowed to be pompous about their own music. If people aren't allowed to be pompous about their own music, then they can't expect anybody to take it seriously. You know, and there's a difference between being pompous about something, you know, having a real genuine belief, and just having a kind of an overblown sort of desire for the music. You know, all I want is I just want it to hit, say, like 1 in 10,000 people who hear it. I want it to hit them the way that it was intended. See, a lot of people will actually hear it and they'll get something completely different, but they'll get something which is of just as good a value. You know, I mean, it's so many times people come up and they say, that song's about that, isn't it? And I almost don't want to say no, because what they've come up with, their idea of what the song is about, is far more interesting. You know, sometimes it will be an incredibly kind of...
Since when did you have the necessity to actually write between the lines in your own lyrics? Difficult thing to understand perhaps, but one has to actually read between the lines in your lyrics if one wants to bother to actually start understanding them. Did you always feel the need to actually start to do that from day one, rather than, you know, very, very straightforward, simple lyrics, which I believe you've never written?
I always try and write simple lyrics. I mean, I think these lyrics are more simple.
Is that in other words your weakness in not being able to write simple lyrics?
Yeah, I think it is a weakness. I mean, it's like it's a failure to communicate. But I mean, it's like I'd love to be able to communicate exactly what I feel. But there's like this communication thing. You know, I mean, like just the fact that when I'm talking to people in the language, in that you know, I'm talking to somebody who naturally speaks English. They're having massive communication problems with me immediately. You know, the idea that we're all sitting around and we all naturally speak different languages, it's incredible, really. I mean, like, it just makes me think, how on earth do we ever get anything done? How does any because there's no way, if I could just like communicate a pure thought to you, you'd be able to communicate back bullshit, or, yeah, I really dig that. But it's the idea of writing a lyric that is trying to say what you're saying. If you say something that, and it can be completely taken a different way, just in a simple sentence, I can say I love you to my girlfriend, and she can misconstrue it as something. Well, in that case, you might as well write that lyric. If there's all that possibility, you might as well accept that for the kind of like the irony that it is, and write exactly what you feel, and whatever somebody else gets out of it will be, almost like a bonus.
Because you do hover between being a poet and a lyric writer, and I can't weigh which one.
I'd like to think I'm a lyric writer as opposed to a poet. That elevation idea, because so many people think, so many people they think, okay, well, you know, poetry. Not that you don't make millions as a poet, so you become a pop singer. Then I have my poetry book out and I'll do what I really want. And that isn't what I really want. I'm not doing this because I really want to be an actor, and this will get me noticed so I can be an actor, or so I can really be a poet, or so I can really be a writer.
And all you wanted to do
But
is
you
make
studied drama,
Robert
didn't
Mitchum
you?
in the end. That's all.
You studied drama.
Yeah,
So if you wanted to pursue that side of your career, you obviously would have. I mean, you wouldn't go and form the Shallow Madness or whatever. Right?
That's it, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, what I wanted to do was this. This is what I wanted to do. And it's like something that is... It's a kind of it's a very difficult thing to describe, because it's putting something into a side of pop music that I'm not sure is necessary. You know, it's like, for the few people who can really get into it, then it's great. But I'm determined for it not to be Leonard Cohen. You know, it's like, that's why I thought was so brilliant was the way, we'll go back to Scott, right? The way that he was doing with orchestras and vocals, what the Velvets were doing with guitars and things, and violas. You know, I mean, he'd have something, he'd have cacophony, but he'd have a beautiful melody over it. Or you'd listen to Love, and Arthur Lee would be singing over this beautiful melody the most disgusting lyrics in the world. This guy was fucked up. And I just think that is like the best music. That, you know, it's...
Pardon the expression, did you ever feel fucked up? Like, right, you know, like...
Yeah, I mean, like, after the Teardrops, I suppose that's one of the... That was an added reason. But...
So I assume this is the first time in your musical career then that you're really happy.
Yeah, I am happy. This is I mean, like, I suppose that's why it's world shut your mouth, because before it was kind of like too microcosmic. You know, I mean, I could never even be considering the world because I was too busy thinking about, you know, what I would be doing in the next minute. But then again, you see, that was the whole point of the Teardrop Explodes, is that you've got all these people saying, okay, well look, we won't do this to Julian, that's too heavy for him to handle. So obviously, if they say that to me, and that's going on day after day, it does become too heavy for me to handle. You know, some people would say, oh, he can't, you know, Julian doesn't go into pubs because he can't handle it. And to start with, it was just a hang-up that I had about pubs, and in the end, I couldn't go into pubs because I couldn't handle it. So eventually, you think, you know, you read, like, say, things like Steve Winwood said, I suddenly realised that I was 30 and I'd never checked into a hotel on my own. And that's pathetic, you know, and I suddenly realised, well, hold on, yeah, I could well be like that when I'm 30 if I don't stop it now. You know, I mean, like, I was well down the road of capitalism, searching for something that was complete. You know, you think about it, and it's the most pointless thing in the world.
Where do you think this sort of insecurity came from then?
From a few things. From the fact, a lot of it is the fact that you're working in a medium that is so commercial, that's so only commercial, that if you're not careful, you just boom, go into it straight away. And however much you believe, you know, that you're okay, we're walking along this kind of edge, and we want to be there, but we want to be playing around with it. In no time at all, you can find yourself just veering off, and you're not really playing anymore. The irony goes, you know, and as soon as the irony goes, then there's no point in, you might as well not be doing it. You know, it's like that line between bland and actually really being the real searing thing. And it was like I don't know, it's very difficult to... So it was like the sleeve, I definitely wanted the, you know, that's the way that I wanted the sleeve. And it's kind of almost obvious the way the sleeve was going to be, you know, it's like Julian Cope kind of denying the whole, you know, the way, you know, the look and everything. But it still had to be that way, you know, I mean, like, it had to be a little bit obvious. It had to be a little bit crass. The world did have to be, you know, because I don't think the album's crass. I wanted it to be kind of a low-key crassness.
I mean, funnily enough, I checked the cover credit. It's Art of Cobia. One would think it would be David Bailey because you've collaborated with him, you know what I mean?
I think Anton
was that deliberate as well?
Well, David is not really...
I don't think he's a very good album photographer. You see,
he's not...
Well, it could be an experience, you see.
He's a fashion photographer, David. So what have you been doing with him? You've been doing some sort of film or something?
Yeah, we did a video.
Which was chopped off. Fetus and Potemkin was...
Well, it was not just that. You see, what I think what was wrong with it was because you work with somebody like David Bailey. The whole point is you're going to create something that's going to be a little bit strange, right? So you start in a real euphoria of, wow, what the hell is this going to be like? Is this going to be incredible? So we started off, and we got a lot of weirdness. We went up to Parliament Hill. We got the rights to the shots from Potemkin. We got Fetus. We got the whole kind of like the return to the womb sort of thing. And there's this one sequence where the girl loses she lets go of the pram, right? She trips. She lets go of the pram. She chases after the pram. She doesn't catch it, and the pram crashes. And to me, that was the part where the umbilical cord is cut, and there's never, you know, it's a kind of a never again thing. Then we got things like people coming in, record company coming in and saying, you can't do that, the BBC will freak out. They can't she's got to catch the pram. So I mean, if she catches the pram,
it's all end the world, and they live happily ever after.
That's it, yeah. So, you know, so he goes back to the womb and he sleeps there forever and ever, and everything's cool. So I said, well, don't you realise this is the actual main point of the whole thing? And they said, well, that, you know, I suppose they thought,
Can you do it obliquely?
yeah, that's it, yeah, this is far too kind of like Freudian for Top of the Pops and everything. You know, couldn't you use like half-naked breasts and things to put it over? Yeah. Which they'd have been perfectly happy with. So suddenly, from doing something which, I mean, I hadn't done a video for well over a year, I was really excited about it. It was suddenly, you know, doom and paranoia times. And, I mean, the video was a real nothing, it's just kind of like castrated. You know, there's brilliant shots though, there's some really brilliant shots with the girl coming towards the camera. It should be fast and it should be furious and everything, and it's just nothing. You know, and like the final version, even the final version with the fetus is really disappointing. Because it hasn't got that kind of like, well, the whole frantic thing, you know. I mean, it should be so frantic. I mean, I was never a very big fan of videos in any case, of doing my own videos. Because I always found them a bit of a chore to come over the way that I wanted to come over. But that kind of like, you know, sealed it to do something with Bailey. I've always thought it's brilliant. And not be able to do it exactly that way. Because that's one thing that I've got to admit about the album is that
Oh, sorry. I'll come back later. I still got it.
Because that's the one thing that I can't knock the record company about, is that we did the album exactly the way we wanted. I mean, I said to Paul King, my manager, wonder if Clive Langer would be into producing the album. So we rung up Clive, and Clive said to Paul King, no way, I couldn't handle it after Wilder, because that turned his skin grey. Although he loved the album, but it did pretty much do his head in. Pretty much did my head in as well.